All Israel News viewers, it's such an exciting day. I'm here with our good friend Levi from Discover Israel, Tour with Levi, and we have an exciting day ahead. Levi, tell us where we are and what we're going to do today.
We are back at it again, super excited to tell the stories of the Bible, and today we are in the Judean Desert, places where God comes to reveal himself. Today we're going to explore Nachal Prat, which is just behind us, which is the northern border of the Judean Desert.
We're going to learn about plants and about how they used to use all of their surroundings to live. Let's get to it. It's fun, so you also have to smile.
Here's what we can see as a called traditional plant here out in the desert. Everyone's looking for their defense mechanisms. The classic one is spikes to make sure that mountain goats and deers don't eat it. This one we call kipton, or echinops in English, and it has a little ball on the inside over here. It's normally ready during May or June, July, and you could actually eat this little ball on the inside. If you collect yourself 10 of them, I will supply as half a lunch for you. It tastes a little bit like celery. Very basic. Because of this soft rock limestone topography, we can see we have these caves all over these mountains. Now, inside of these caves, a lot of them are actually held for tzon today, which is like sheep and goats. But historically, and even today, people live inside of these caves. It's a constant temperature the whole time. You have natural security. You can put a gate in the front. So prophets like Elijah, when he was looking for refuge, come into valleys like this.
Levi, of course, reminded me that I need a hat, which is very smart. Of course, you have to bring water to these places. So it's a hot day today, and we're gonna start dipping our toes in some nice, cool, refreshing water.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the sound of rushing water. As the elders of Israel used to say, when you hear the sound of rushing water, calms your soul. Here, what I find inside of the stream of Nachal Prat, which is the northern border of the Judean Desert, is this beautiful smelling minty leaf, which the local Bedouin, they make into a very strong tea. And that's what we're gonna do now. It's a little bit bitter, so they put copious amounts of sugar in it, but it's definitely a very healthy plant to drink tea. It reduces inflammation, it's good for your stomach. Plenty of vegetation around here, we can check it out. Here, where there's water, this is the most desired land and the most important land, because water is, as they say, the faucet of life. Without it, we won't survive very long. Behind me, we can see an aqueduct, a Roman aqueduct, built 2,000 years ago by King Herod, who then brings water from here towards Jericho, which was a flourishing city. Now, whoever controls the water of that city controls the people of the city that can charge taxes. That was the central element of the water. Here's part of the aqueduct that came down towards Jericho. You can see the larger stones on the outside, and then the spackle, which was put on the inside. The spackle was even made of this limestone that was burnt at a very high temperature to make sure that the water wouldn't seep through all of these rocks over here. If you follow me along, you can see how it's very secure. And this was guarded by militant soldiers. So the death penalty for stealing water from the Roman army was the death penalty. So the penalty was the death penalty. It was so severe, and they had to control and make sure they kept the water, because this was all of their power. Their natural resource was the most basic resource. And then after King Herod was around 2,000 years ago, in around the year 300, 324, 325, the year 400, we start seeing a sprout of people here who are monks. Now, the monks tried to seclude themselves in the desert to then get closer to God. Often I ask myself, what is challenging in life? I like running, I like climbing mountains, I like challenging myself, but I find that sometimes the hardest challenge is to just sit by yourself with your own thoughts, silence around you, with no simulation, outward simulation, and so you're forced to look inwards. And this is the goal of these specific monks who would sit in these caves by themselves. We call it in Hebrew, hitbodedut. They would seclude themselves and sit here for months, just really trying to reflect on what they see on their souls inside themselves, and that was their service to God. So these monks who are out here had to survive off something. Not only the monks, also Jeremiah, Elijah, Moses, Jesus, these figures who come out into the desert, they had to eat something. And this was the main staple of food back then, 2,000 years ago, even 3. This is called salaf, and in Hebrew, in English, it's capers. And you can eat all parts of it throughout the year. It sprouts twice a year, between its fruit, which you can see are kind of dried up over here, to the actual small capers, the ones that we know in the shop, to something called the yuvalim, which is just the edge. And you have to brine it just like olives. You put it inside of a container, you put a little bit of oregano in, some lime, some water, some salt, and you put these fruit in, leave it for about a month, and it will be an abundance of sustenance fruit here inside of the desert. We've foraged these gorgeous tea leaves from the river, these lovely mint tea leaves, and just behind me is the lovely waterfall. We picked up some water from it, and now we're going to create some great tea. It's good for anti-inflammation. It's good just to take a very deep breath of it, and it brings us into the serene calmness of the desert here. So we don't want to get any of these flowers or the seeds, because we want it to get as least bitter as possible. And then to pick the leaves off, we don't want to go with the flow, we want to go against it, and it will just come off very easily. See how it just all pulls off. Should be enough tea leaves. It depends on the strength that you want it. You want to cook it for about 5 minutes. Keep it bubbling once it's hot already to really extract everything you want out of the leaves. Add sugar to make it less bitter, and then we're going to enjoy our tea. Our story starts with Elijah the prophet and King Ahab. Many people in this nation from the nation of Israel who believed and worshipped in the god Baal. One last prophet for the one God that we believe in today was Elijah, and he escaped. Now King Ahab was an evil king, and they have a face-off or a god-off. Then Elijah picked up his sword and killed 400 of the prophets of Baal. There's a decree from King Ahab to then go kill Elijah. Elijah comes down and escapes into the Judean Desert, and this is where we'll pick up from my favorite book, the Tanakh. Frightened, he understood and fled for his life. Once he reached Beersheba of Yehuda, he left his servant boy there and continued his day journey into the wilderness. He's kind of tired, and he says, "Lord, take me now, smite me down. Oh Lord, take my life, for I am no better than my ancestors." Then he lay down and fallen asleep underneath the broom tree. The broom tree is also translated as the rotema tree, which we can see just across from us over here, this little broom bush over here. This is just one of the many stories which we have representing this desert. Just sitting here, listening to the rushing water, and seeing all of the shrubbery, of the things that our prophets would have said, is really deepening our roots into this land, and will help us with our identity to then move forward and live a prosperous life. Now we've got our tea already, our lovely strong mint tea. You can see the colour's quite dark. We want to try and not get this white stuff on it, so cheers.
All right, guys, bottoms up. It's not too bitter. It's actually okay. I mean, you could, if you wanted to put like loads of sugar in this, but she probably doesn't need it. Nice.
Ready?
Guys, we love the Judean Desert. We've loved hearing all the stories of the Bible, and I love drinking that tea. The water was so refreshing. It really does bring you into the stories of the Bible.
The stories of our ancestors are in this land of Israel. Simply connecting and opening the book enhances my connection to those biblical ancestral stories which so much were lived inside of this beautiful terrain. Just sitting here, you can feel the presence of God.
That's so true. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We hope that you join us the next time. If you want more Israel-related content, go to allisraelnews.com, hit the notification bell, hit subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one.